Hey, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. It sounds like you had a great trip. Congratulations.
Yes, very long, I was gone for a month and lots of baby time
Oh,
and
good.
lots of exhaustion, but it was worth it.
Good to get there. Probably nice to be home as well.
Yes. Yeah. At least for a
Oh,
little bit.
good.
I'll probably be going back up there sometime
So I
soon.
know you do the functional medicine. Did you go through Dr. Cabral's program?
No, it was the Institute of, or the, let's see, the Functional Medicine Health Coach Academy.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, we follow a lot of that. And
Do you know who Sandra Schombaum or something?
oh,
She's like the founder of the
well, good. Okay,
program.
good for you.
Yeah.
But anyway, tell me, you just did a land deal recently?
Yes, it was a dead deal twice
Oh my
and
goodness.
two price reductions, which is good. So yeah, went under contract in October with this guy, and we just finally made it to the finish line just last week.
Yeah, I tell people make offers, but can constantly follow up.
Yeah, it fell apart a couple times. I signed it at first, and then who he assigned it to was my original mentor or the original class I'd gone through with Pete Reese. I don't know if you Land Conquest.
I'm familiar with most of them, but not all of them.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so I signed it to him because I didn't have the cash to buy it,
Yeah.
and it wasn't enough for him to partner with me. But then they dropped him because he was being obnoxious or something. I don't know, like being
Oh,
anyway. So then he begged me to put it back under contract. So then I was like, okay, we got to play by my rules.
yeah.
We're gonna do a price reduction, and then you have to answer your phone. It was just there's a whole backstory to this guy and his
Yeah.
property. But
Well,
anyway,
a lot of the transactions do have a story.
yes, yeah, yeah. So we made it to the finish line and
Okay.
just barely, but we did.
My wife and I flip land full time. I'm not a teacher guru. Have worked with about 250. I call them teammates, not students. And I give as much as I can possibly give. I'm not interested in squeezing money out of people. That's just not my deal. But I love what I do. I'm happy to show you what I do. I'm not an arm twister to get you to enroll in anything. If you decide that's something you're interested in, I can show you a couple options. And I always tell people if we're teammates, great. And if we're friends, that's great too. So it's not, let me just stop that for a sec. But I can give you an overview of the course. I can just show you some of the things that I do that are probably different than most people, but without being pushy or trying to sell you anything. If you want to participate in that, I'll show you a way you can do that if that's okay.
Yeah, fine. First, I want to figure out where I met you because I don't know. We didn't personally meet, but were you either on Robbins, the Land Pilot, either
I
on
saw that or Kendall Lejeune,
or Kendall?
maybe,
It was probably Kendall then.
probably. I'm familiar with most of them, not all of them.
But were you a guest on one of them?
I've been a guest on quite a few. Kendall and I, we messaged quite a bit, and I've been at a conference that he was at with some of quite a few of the land people.
It must have been
You
his
know, I've been at this for about 35 years and just land for the last eight. I work one market. I'm not interested in doing a million deals. At this point, I do two or three a month. Got one under contract Monday for 52,000, and the lot next door is identicals listed for 129.
nice.
So but usually I buy them for 10,000, sell them for 20,000, or buy it for six and sell it for 30. I work with the Habitat for Humanity quite a bit, which is a great relationship. It helps first time home buyers, it helps Habitat, it helps us, and it helps the
Mhm.
seller. So I like that. And but I'll just show you a few things that I do, and don't let me, I get too excited. Just reel me back in.
Okay.
All right. So I'll just share my screen here.
Okay.
And this is the course. And in here, there's about 156 lessons in here. And I like to start off with so people see that I'm actually doing this is what I do. Michael with Land Flipping for Beginners. Today I'm in front of East Mallory Street in Pensacola, Florida. The seller was motivated to sell the property. He was a little bit older and he had a portfolio. So we entered into an agreement to purchase a property for $51,750, and we assigned our contract to a local realtor for $65,000. And we did all this without using any of our own money, and our profit was $13,250. Assignments are a great technique, and it's a technique that we teach in our class. Thank you. I show people 4 different ways you can do it without using your own money. And it took me about 5 months to build the course out, and it shows how do I pick market areas, what tools do I use, how do I do my due diligence, how do I build my list, and I really focused on niches. So I spent a lot less money on mail than 99% of the people. But this is why we're here. And that was the actual, I assigned it to a realtor. The realtor was actually my end buyer. That's the check from the realtor that bought it from me. And just going through the how do you pick a market area, the tools we use, how do you build your list, how are we going to contact the people, and due diligence. I probably do different than, I've only found one person that does it how we do it, but I do my due diligence on the property like everybody, but I do my due diligence on the people. So what I do a background on them. So I check for bankruptcies, liens, judgments. I pull their criminal history, business licenses, business affiliations, anything else I can find in the public records. So I may have 2 properties that are virtually identical, and I may offer one guy 10,000 and the next guy 6,000 because I understand their background and their financial situation. So that helps quite a bit. And I put a lot of emphasis on selling because that's when we get paid. And I do some things different than many people, but there are a few options. In the full course, I do 2 Zoom sessions a week. And so 100 a year. And then I have guest speakers, not all the time, but some of the time. And in the library here, here's the letters I use, the postcards I use. I do something called my 3-offer technique, which I'll show you, the due diligence. But the last 4 Wednesdays, I paid this guy, I hired him, and he's in the land business, but he's an expert at ChatGPT. And so there's 4 hours worth of content here of how you can use ChatGPT for the land business.
Is Rick Shelton, is he partner with Callan Faulkner?
I know both of them, but I don't know if they've worked. I don't know if they work together.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah. So
I thought his name was Rick, but
yeah. Then this is Rick right here, and then here's Jesse Kwong that has Pebble. He presented. I had Al Nicoletti, that's a probate attorney in Florida, and so we spent an hour together, and he presented. And there's people in here from PropStream, different vendors in here as well. One of the sessions I did is I want to do a deal now. How do we do a deal now? And there's about 200 hours of content in here. Here's Nick that helps you people generate leads. So anyway, quite a bit in there. And then when I build my list similar to many people. I'll use PropStream, county records, different tools, land portal. But then after I build my list, I market to 14 niches. These are the niches that I market to. And a lot of people don't market to these niches that I market to. Out of state and out of county, they want them for a long time. That's just a traditional list. But I can show people how they get the probate. And I've got something called my $100 list. Typically, we want to market to people that have owned for a long time. I have 3 niches that I market to where people have owned for 5 years or less. And then after I go ahead and build all my lists, tax deed sales, code enforcement liens, MLS expireds, I can show you how I do those. Certificates, these are people that are chronically delinquent on taxes, typically 2, 3 or more years right there. But then after I build my list, and on the left here, this is PropStream information, property address, assessed value, mailing addresses. But then I'll take it and I run it through Versium. And so Versium's going to skip trace for me. I'll get up to 6 phone numbers. I'll get email addresses. But I also know their income. I know their net worth. I have their mortgage information. I know their age. And then I know their credit score. So I had one teammate, she was going to send out 4,000 letters. It was going to cost her $2,800. I said, don't do it. Send it to me. We went over her list and we narrowed it down to the 1,000 people that are more likely going to sell. And so saved her $2,100 in an hour. But some of these I can go like here, I can say, okay, their income's under $20,000 a year. They're 65 or over. They live out of state. Their credit score is between 500 and 599. These people more likely need to sell. And so I want to focus on people. And I think Kendall did a post yesterday, I believe, and he says, "What's the one thing you must have?" Or it's you don't market to them. And I said, they have to be a motivated seller, or I'm not marketing to them. So I'll go ahead and build that. And again, back to the niche list, I'll run it through Versium. The downside with Versium, it costs $3,600. And I've done that, but it gives me the equivalent of 70,000 leads. I only have 4,000 people on my list total, and I'm trying to shrink that. So I didn't renew it this year, but I have a vendor that I go through and I'm talking to him and I said, "You're using Versium, aren't you?" And he says, "Yeah." So I have a relationship with him. I can just buy 1,000, I'll run 1,000 leads through and it'll cost me $120, which is much better than 3,600.
Oh, nice.
And then I use PropStream quite a bit. And most people, I don't know, what do you use? PropStream or data?
I haven't used it. I started out using it for land last year, but I've been using it for years for residential stuff. So I still have it. I'm afraid to give it up because even though I don't use it that much anymore, but I like being able to find out stuff about the owner, like what other properties they own, what their mortgage is, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like that part of it. But so I have
Right.
PropStream.
Yeah, PropStream's great. Most people use it to build a list, but this is just a zip code where I am. There's 13,000 properties. And now if I want to find buyers, I just turn it around a little bit. I'll go to vacant land, and then I'll go to ownership information, and I'll put ownership information a maximum of 2 years. So now I've got 117 people that have bought in the same zip code where I'm trying to sell, and they bought in the last 2 years. So these are potential buyers. But the next thing that I go to is number of properties owned, and I'll put a minimum of 4. So now I have 60 people that are investors that are buying right where I'm trying to sell, and they own multiple properties, and they're right here. And I can look at one and I can see, okay, what did they pay? If it was on the MLS, and some of them are, and actually this is Habitat for Humanity right here. I've sold their land acquisition is David Kane. I've sold David 11 properties right here, but I can look and see, I can see exactly what they paid, but then I take it a step further, and these are potential buyers, but I'll go out of these 60, which ones sold on the multiple listing, and we'll go sold. And now there's 9. So now I can talk to 9 realtors that have sold to investors right in my market where I'm trying to sell. And my background's appraisal, but if I'm having a hard time valuing the property, and if I click on one of these, and again, this Habitat bought this one. I don't think we sold this to them. No. But what I can do is click on MLS, and here's the agent's name, phone number, email. Many times I'll call them and I'll just say, "I see that you sold the property on Trenton. I've got a property that I'm closing on very similar to yours, and I may want to list it. If I list it with you and I want to sell this under 60 days, what do you think we should list it for?" So it just helped me validate my appraisal process. So I'm just taking PropStream and turning it around. Instead of building a list, I want to turn it around and find potential buyers. I sell about 2/3 of ours on Facebook Marketplace. The other third, if I don't want to deal with it, we've got a great realtor. I just list it with her. And this property here, we got under contract for $52,218 on Monday. This property right here, next door, is listed for $129,000. It's virtually identical. And the comps are approximately $115,000. So I'll start marketing this very quickly. The woman that we're getting it from, they've owned it for 39 years. The husband passed away. It's in his name. It will have to go through probate. So I'm facilitating that probate for her.
Are you using, at this point in your career, are you using your own cash to close these properties?
On this one, it will be 52,218, but what I can pull up real quick And I gave her 3 offers. I call it the 3-offer technique. And this just this one thing will make you money right here. I'm going to share a strategy that has made us a lot of money, and hopefully you'll find it very beneficial for you as well. It's our 3-offer strategy, and it'll help you make more money, do more deals, and make the seller negotiate with you. And the scenario we're going to go over is a property that's worth $20,000, and our desired profit is $6,500. Sometimes we make a little more, sometimes we make a little bit less. The maximum allowable offer that we're going to have is $13,500. And the 3 offers are as follows. The first offer is all cash, $9,500, and will close quickly in 14 days. Offer number 2, $11,500, and will close in 90 days. That way, if you need time to do an assignment, it will accommodate that. And the third offer is $13,500 with seller financing for 2 years. Now, the seller will look at this and they'll want $13,500, but they'll also want the money quickly. So as they go through the various offers, they're going to go ahead and somewhat negotiate against themselves. These options many times will have the seller again. So it's a technique that works well. And if I talk too much, just reel me back in.
Yeah, no problem.
This property right here. This is an example of the 3-offer technique right here. So we bought the property a couple of years ago, and the seller in 2015 paid $7,800 for it. She told me she would not take under $7,500 no matter what. She lived out of state. I offered her $8,500 more than she wanted. I put seller financing for 2 years. I offered her $7,500 that she wanted, close in 90 days. I offered her $6,500. She said she wouldn't take. I'll close in 2 weeks. She took that. So we closed on December 14th. I listed it with the realtor on December 14th, and we got a contract for $25,000. It took 35 days to close, but using the 3-offer technique made us an extra $1,000 there. And we about quadrupled our money right there. So she lived out of state, but the 3-offer technique, they say, I want 13.5. I said, great, you can have it. Here's your choices. You can pick what works better for you. And they always migrate to the lowest offer because it's cash and close quick. And if they say that's not enough, I said, well, then you can pick one of the other ones. So it takes the negotiating away from me. I also like to market to expired MLS listings. And this is an example. This property here, I go to the MLS or PropStream and I find properties that expired from 3 years ago to 8 years ago. And I make sure they tried to have it, they had it on the market for a minimum of 40 days. So it was exposed to the open market. And what I know is in this case, she tried to sell it in 2019 for $10,000. So I already knew that. I offered her, I skip traced her. It took about 3 minutes. I was on the phone with her. I offered her $10,300 and she accepted it. I closed on March 21st and we closed 3 days later to a builder for $25,000. So if I want to do a deal quick, it's expired MLS listings because I know everyone on that list wants to sell. And I'll do that, or I'll do properties that are going to tax deed sale.
Okay.
And some of those came from here, expired MLS listings right there. And again, these are some of the niches that I market to. So I'm mailing to people. Many times they're getting tons of mail, but I'm not aware of many people that are marketing to expired MLS listings. Some do. Code enforcement liens, typically, there's 2 different types of code enforcement liens, but most people that have them against the property, sometimes $20,000, I can get certain types of liens waived 100%. So I make money off of code enforcement liens. Certificates, I'll just see if I can share where I get these. And it depends on the county. These are delinquent taxes. all unpaid accounts. Search. So here's everyone in Escambia County that's currently delinquent on their taxes, 24,000 people. It doesn't tell me if it's land or not, but it's got an account number. And if I get a list from the county, see if I can pull up a better example. A county, there's an account number. So now I have a list from the county or PropStream of all the vacant land with an account number. And I've got a list from the county of everyone that's delinquent on the taxes. I just merged two spreadsheets. I have 452 people that I'm marketing to that are behind on their taxes.
So how do you find just the land ones?
Here's all the delinquent people right here. And there's an account number on the left side here. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I go to PropStream or the appraiser's website and just say I'm going to build a list from the appraiser's website, and I can go in here and do an advanced search and I can build a list of up to 25,000 people in the county. But this is an example of one record out of the 25,000. It's got an account number right there. So I pull a list from the county of just vacant land and it has an account number. I pull a list from the county of everyone that's behind on taxes. Two different spreadsheets. If the same account numbers on both spreadsheets, it's vacant land where they're delinquent on their taxes.
But do you have to somehow, you merge them together somehow?
Yeah, you just put them in ChatGPT and it does it automatically in about
Oh, okay.
10 seconds.
All right, cool.
So before that, I just give it to a VA and they would do it for me because I can't figure it out myself.
Yeah, I just that would take a long time.
We use Facebook quite a bit. This is the group for the teammates. There's 159 people in there. I've got another one with about 100 people. And here was the prompts that Rick wrote for ChatGPT. And what we built was put in a state, and it's going to pick the 5 best counties. It's going to show you the link to the appraiser's website, the tax assessor's website, Habitat for Humanity's website, Home Builders Association of America's website. It's going to pull up the most active buyers, the most active realtors, the ones that have the most transactions. So we just did that and automated it. And here's the prompts that he did. So we could just go to these prompts and put it in ChatGPT. And there's his prompts right there.
Nice.
And so that was included in the 4 sessions that we did in here in the library. So there's, I don't know, about 4 hours worth of content with Rick there. In due diligence, I used a tool called IDI Core. It cost me $1.75 a search. And I'll go ahead and log in. It's going to send me an email just so I can log in. It's a secure site. But this is, I always run this before I'm going to make an offer, and it's worth the $1.75. And so I'll maybe pull one here I've done before. This is one I'm trying to buy right here. And here's Mrs. Hayes. I gave them an offer on, I think it was Saturday, with the 3 offer technique. I can see how many kids she has, how old she is. But you see here, it's, excuse me, bankruptcies, liens, judgments, criminal history, business licenses, business affiliations. But typically, I couldn't find her. So what I did, I skip traced and I found her. Let's see if I can find the property. I skip traced it and I found her nephew, who's the trustee of her estate. She's still living. She's out of the country. So I made him the offer over the weekend. The neighbors next door already want to buy it. They saw me out there looking at the property. Anyway, we engaged, but I also used it for return mail sometimes. It's a little expensive for return mail, but I'll see if I can pull up another example here.
Are you investing where you live locally?
I stay within 20 minutes of my house.
So you're in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Pensacola. That's all I do. I only do Pensacola. So here. This guy made an offer over the weekend, but I see he's got judgments, criminal history, business affiliations. And so I want to know about the property, but I want to know who I'm dealing with too. So they don't know that I have all that information. But I made him an offer. His property's worth 20,000. He's got $20,000 in liens. He decided he was going to hang on to it. He's behind on the taxes. And then if I want to look at the criminal infraction, sometimes they're nothing. But sometimes I had one that was out of state fugitive, failure to register motor vehicles, battery, touch or strike. I want to know who I'm dealing with. Is it a creep? Sometimes it's just traffic tickets, but sometimes it's significant.
Yeah.
And then, so by the time I'm done, I typically know their income, I know their credit score, I know their criminal history, and on. And then I'll do that before I'll make my offer, and then I'll use the 3 offer technique.
So are you paying a monthly payment fee for the service and then 175 per record?
No, it's just $1.75 a search, no fee.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It takes about 3 weeks to get approved. And if they don't approve, you can't go back. It's just a one-time deal. But I've been using it for about 5 years.
What do you have to do to be approved?
It's probably a questionnaire, and they probably ran a background on me.
Wow.
But this is great. Very quickly, it takes 2 seconds. You just put in a name and you put in a city, and very quickly you can have the information. This guy here, criminal back, I don't remember where we were with him, but speeding, nothing, just speeding, not much. But so I like to build a great list, different than most people. Then I like to run it through Versium, and I'm putting it through the filter and I'm funneling. So I want to deal with people that, my opinion is, they need to sell. So I'm not mailing out letters to, and then when we get them, we decided instead of mailing to someone, then I find out it's landlocked. I'm trying to get my list from 4,000 down to about 900. But so I already know it's a property that I want, and I know their situation pretty much. And then I'll spend the money on mail. And since my list is a lot smaller, I can market to them more often.
Who do you use to mail?
I use Click to Mail. I use Deb at Rocket Print. She was one of our speakers. I don't remember exactly when.
Yeah, I started with Rocket Print, and I still have 10,000 credit there. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I got to use those up.
Yeah, I think I still have about 2,000 or 3,000.
And then I hired Alicia Jarrett, Supercharged Offers.
Oh yeah, she was one of our speakers in our library too.
Yeah. But it was a pretty big thing, and I paid way too much money, and that's what has.
My suggestion to people, when someone enrolls, my suggestion to them is keep your cost as low as possible. They're worried about their LLC, and I got to do this and I got to do that. I said, let's keep your costs as low as possible. I do recommend that they get PropStream. I said, besides that, don't start spending a lot of money. Let's get some deals.
Yeah, I did it wrong.
It's
I paid for a course. I paid for,
Yeah.
Then I paid Alicia. That was,
Yeah, and I think she's like
regret.
$3,000, something like that.
I paid her a lot.
Yeah, I've got a teammate. I think he paid her 7,000 or something. I don't recall, but I can show people. I'm not Alicia. I'm not all these people, but I can do about 95%. I can do title work, not quite as good as a title company, but I can get about 95% of the way there.
Yeah. By the way, do you use a title company when you close, or do you close?
No, almost always. Not always, but almost always.
Okay.
So this was continuing to build your list. And here's the guy from Versium. Here, the interview with Deb right there at Rocket Print.
Yeah. I also use Pebble.
Do you use Pebble?
I do, but I don't use it properly. I haven't really. I was using it just for the leads that were coming in through Supercharged Offers and keeping track that way, but I haven't put any new stuff in any of my residential.
Yeah, I'm not great at it. I'm pretty good at it, but we've automated a lot of our follow-up.
Yeah, I need to learn all that stuff.
This is Pebble.
I'm paying for it. I don't feel like I'm taking advantage of.
Yeah, here's auto follow-up. So I only have a few campaigns. But if I go here, these are just recent ones right here. And let's see. So step number one, I just mail them a postcard with an offer. And then 9 days later or 10 days later, I call. 80 days later, I call. This is a six-step follow-up campaign. It goes out 360 days. But then I already know these are properties that I want. I can put them into auto follow-up. I'm pretty good at Pebble, not perfect. Some of these are properties we want, and some of them I need to follow up with. Anyway, there's some examples right there.
Do you use land ID?
I have land ID. The county I'm in is great. So I don't need land ID, but I paid $70 for a year, so I have it so I can share it with people. I just went through a free 7-day with Land Portal. And some of these people will give me an affiliate link. Like Jesse, I have an affiliate link with Jesse. I have an affiliate link with PropStream. Land Portal is interested in our group because in our public group, we've got, I think, 4,800 people in our, this is a private portion, but this is the public one here.
Who does Land Portal? Who's the
Apke brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's $59 a month. What they don't have is pulling comps. But
I checked into Leah.
Pardon me?
Land Insights.
Run that by me again.
Land Insights with Subner Healy. Have you checked it?
No. I'm familiar with him, but
the system does everything, but I'm thinking it's probably more than I need, but it does some really cool stuff. But it's $500 a month if you join if you want to use it.
Yeah, my goal is keep your costs down. At some point, if you're interested, there's a couple options. This is the full course. It's $19.97. There's a $500 coupon code. It's $14.97. There's no monthly payments. It's once and done. It's 100 Zoom sessions a year. I think you can tell I'm very accessible. And if someone's looking for something more economic, there's a $97 one. It's $97, and it includes 2 Q&As a month. I did a 5-day land flipping workshop. It was about 10 hours, and I'll show you a brief overview of that. And I did a PropStream mastery and a prospecting mastery, and it's 97. And here's
Michael, I've been doing this since 1989, and you still show me new stuff. Thank you, buddy.
But I just appreciate this information because it's like clear, concise, to the point. Like you have everything organized, and I just appreciate that. So thank you so much.
You're literally giving us the sauce, as people would say in our industry. So you're really showing us a real business motto, how to be successful in life through the land.
I just want to say thank you. That's your open attitude of being able to share. That's a big thing.
I really appreciate all the information that you've been sharing, and I've just gained so much knowledge from your class. And I'm sad it's the last day because.
Hey there, my name is Isaac Hall. I'm 19. I currently have a 15K land flip underway, which I'm really excited about. And I owe a lot of that to Michael.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely what attracted me to you, because I can tell that you're not one of those,
yeah,
that you're accessible. That's the whole thing. Is even that you pay these people tons of money, they're still not fully accessible.
Yeah, I've got 2 teammates. They went through the Bosch's program. They each paid $35,000. They tell me what I give them for $14.97 is worth way more. So I get excited about it. We do things a little different. The 3-offer technique, doing the due diligence on the people. And I put a lot of emphasis into selling because that's when we get paid.
Do you do double closes or?
I've done assignments. I've done double closes. It depends on the situation. With assignments, they typically disclose what the assignment fee is. I've got one title company that doesn't. If I want to keep the people's totally separate, last double close, we owned it for 4 minutes. Most of them, 80%, 85% of them, I just pay cash. And then as soon as I get the agreement signed, typically within 30 minutes, I'm marketing the property. I'm already marketing it. So usually I have a buyer. And since I work the same market, I'm dealing with the same builders, Habitat for Humanity, and then we'll put a lot of them on Facebook Marketplace. So I suggest when people get going and they have their market, join at least 20 real estate related groups in your market area. And so we'll go ahead and put them on Facebook Marketplace. And then when people respond, I have over 600 people that have responded from Facebook Marketplace that's now part of my buyers list.
And then you just you just blast out emails with what you have going
Pardon me?
with your list. You just blast out emails when you have something for sale.
When I get one, I don't blast it. I've never blasted it. I call one person at a time. I'm not interested in having the builders bid against each other. I'm just very fair with them. You can go to, here, we'll see here. Okay, here's the Home Builders Association. And they have, I think, the directory here. And in here, there's builders. And there's, I believe, about 85 builders in my market area. There's 85 of them. I work with 11 of them. So a lot of people, well, how do I sell? See if there's a Home Builders Association in your market area. There's all your builders right there.
What's your price for to value? What percentage are you selling to the builders?
A little below market. It depends. It depends what I got it for. With Habitat, the last one I probably could have sold for, I don't know, 35. David says, I'll give you 27. I said, how about 28? He goes, okay. We just shake hands over the phone and it's done. But I've got that relationship now. And instead of $5,000 more, now I've got a relationship with them, and that's worth more than the $5,000. To each your own, that's just mine. I buy, and when I introduce myself to a builder, I went to Grand Builders. I've sold him 7 properties, and I see this guy building a house. I got out and walked up to him. I said, are you the contractor? And he said, yes. I said, I buy property substantially below market, and I pass on the savings to my builders. Are you interested? Basically, are you interested in lots below market? And so just that, it makes it very easy. Sunchase, I've sold to him right here. It makes it very easy conversation. I buy property substantially below market, and I pass on my savings to my builders. Are you interested? And they all say, I want to be at the top of your list. I want to be at the top of your list.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the opposite corner of the country, the Pacific Northwest, which is a whole. It would just take me a little bit to figure it all out, but it's a little crazy. It's expensive, and people think that they know what the properties are worth, and they're very, like, they're not super flexible. But I'm not marketing to the same type of people that you were, so it was pretty much anybody. So I also want to find some lower end areas that I can finance myself, at least for a little bit, or that would be taking too much out of my pocket to start to get things rolling again.
Yeah.
At a standstill at the moment.
So I just go to the National Association of Home Builders, and a third of the way down in the middle, I think I pulled up the wrong page. If you go to the National Association of Home Builders, about a third of the way down in the middle of the page, find your local chapter. And you click on that. Here, let me go ahead and redo this. Okay. And I did it again. I don't know what I did. But anyway, the National Association of Home Builders, a third of the way down in the middle, you can type in Florida, and then it's going to bring up all the chapters in Florida. And there's your builders right there. Not all of them, but some builders don't belong to the association. So I use IDI Core for it. It's one of the skip tracing tools I use. You can do cyberbackgroundchecks.com. That's free. I suggest as people are picking a market area, you want to have good information from the county and ones that make sense. So as we're going through picking a market area, I use some census data to go ahead and pick them real quick. But now we built the tool ChatGPT. It can help us pick them real quick. But these are samples of me doing Escambia County where I am, and also another county, and just show people how I go through the appraiser's website, what I'm looking for. And then this is another week 2. Michael with Land Flipping for Beginners. Today I'm at a vacant lot on East Leonard Street in Pensacola, Florida. We contacted the seller by direct mail. He was interested in liquidating his portfolio, and we entered into an agreement to purchase the lot for $70,000. We assigned our agreement to a builder who we've worked with in the past for $80,000. Our net was $10,000 without using any of our own money. So that's the builder I spoke about, Grand Builders. I sold that lot to him. So I talk too much. What questions do you have?
I don't know. I just know that I need to get rolling again. I have been focusing so much on this thing and then just the whole grandbaby thing. And I'm also talking to someone that I think I told you, 2 fourplexes up in Washington. So that's looking pretty good, but I need to keep the ball rolling, and I don't want to, I was looking for a way just to get back to doing basically more simply instead of, it was nice when I did hire Alicia because all the leads just came to me, but it was actually too much at first because it was blind, not blind offers. It was neutral offers. So no offer, basically letters. So I just got slammed with tons of calls, and it was just hard to keep up with everybody. And they were all ridiculous what they wanted.
Yeah.
I like offer letters better if I'm going to do letters. But so I'm just trying to, I want to keep my momentum going. And now that I got this one under my belt, and
yeah. So it's pick a good market area, build a good list, really run it through that funnel. And so now I'm only dealing with people, and I already know we want the property. We did some little due diligence up front. I already know we want the property. I know that they typically have some sort of motivation. They've inherited it. They live out of the area. They're behind on taxes. They couldn't sell it on MLS. They have code enforcement liens. And then over the weekend, we made 3 offers. One's dead. One she signed. And the other one, I'm not bugging him. That's the woman that's 85 that lives out of the country. They've owned it for about 40 years, I think. Great neighborhood, great lot. And I gave him the 3 offer technique. And then the next door neighbor already wants to buy it. Hopefully the guy signs the agreement. We will see.
are you paying like back taxes and all that stuff when you do find these people that are in default, or?
Depends. My agreement is 3 paragraphs, my total agreement. I keep it very simple. I get the information from the appraiser's website, the legal description, how title's held, and then I just put on there the terms. When we're going to close, we're going to use clear title, how long I have for due diligence, and sometimes I'll try to get 90 days for due diligence, and I can find a buyer. Sometimes they want to close quick, my offer is going to be lower. But typically what I'll put in there, we'll pay all closing costs. Buyer's responsible for any liens and all back taxes, all taxes that are due.
And which will just come out of their end.
Yeah, it just comes out of it.
So they don't have to come up with the money.
But then some people want to know, how much am I going to get? And I say, you're going to get $19,218.18. That when you close, that's my offer. That's what you're going to leave the title company with. Then I got to pay any prorated taxes. I would still put in there that they pay for any liens anyway, but some people want to know what they're going to leave the title company with. So then I'll just structure it that way, that we'll pay the taxes and everything.
Okay. All right. Let me put some thought into this. I'm sure at least one of your courses is a
Yeah, be cautious. You've spent so much money by the time you do Rocket Print, and then you've got Alicia. I call her, I have a daughter named Alicia. So sometimes they're Alicia, sometimes they're Alicia.
or AJ.
Pebble and all those. One thing we could do is get your mail cost way down.
Yeah.
Build a better list.
Yeah. And I want to just get down to the minimum. Like I've been paying PropStream forever, so it's not that big of a deal. But I think I do need the CRM. So I'll continue with Pebble. For me, it's fairly simple as far as visual. I'm also very ADHD, so anything that's complicated, it just takes me forever to figure it out. So I want something easy. And I really do land ID because I just like to be able to have a quick look really quickly. But I'm still trying to figure out what I don't need and get rid of. I'm paying for AI with Claude and ChatGPT and Perplexity because I took one of Colin's other courses. But I literally couldn't even keep up with the course. It was like way over my head.
Yeah, she's I didn't take hers. Let me see if I can do one of these.
She did a land one and I missed that one. And I thought the second one that I was signed up for was for land only, but it was literally for everything. And she had a big section on land, but it was just it was way too advanced for me and too quick. And I just couldn't even keep up. So that was another waste of money.
Yeah. So I put in a state and it will help you. And this one needs a little tune up, but I'll just put in Arizona.
I don't think you're sharing your screen. It looks like you're
Oh.
trying to, or
Yeah, let me try again. So I just put this and I type in Arizona. And with Rick, we built ones that are much more sophisticated. We'll see if it works. No, it didn't work. The 5 best counties in Arizona. Then in the counties, I asked for the best zip codes. There's a link to the appraiser's website. There's the tax collector's website. There's Habitat for Humanity's website, Home Builders Association website, the top builders, the top buyers, the top realtors. So I built that, and I'm not an expert at it. I've been playing around with it for about 8 weeks or so. And so it's just another tool. Then I built another one here. Your real estate negotiation assistant for overcoming seller objections using the 3-offer technique and writing persuasive text, emails, and scripts. The seller told me my offer was too low. Help me write something. And so what I want to build out is these GPTs, but I want to build it out for the whole course. So as we come back here, and it would go to week 2, choosing a market. That one that I just showed you when I put in Arizona, that'll be right there. So you can go through the course, but there's also a tool that will help you.
how are you pricing so you're not, yeah, so how are you pricing your offers as far as for a zip code or a county? Are you doing, because I know that you have it very dialed in.
If I want to do blind offers, I have a very easy technique. If you look at AA property, let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, ours is the one that's next door to this, actually. Wrong one. You can see the assessed value of $10,000, or in this case, the assessed value is $52,000. What I'll do, and I'll use PropStream, I'll go in to a zip code. It's not perfect. And I'll say, show me the last 100 properties that sold. And I'll know what the assessed value is. And I'll know what the sales price is. There's a ratio between assessed value and sales price. So then I can go to a spreadsheet and tell the spreadsheet, make my offers at 85.1% of assessed value. It'll price the whole spreadsheet immediately.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to do it. But most of mine, I do blind offers maybe once a year. Otherwise, they're neutral letters. And some of these people, I'll just go ahead and call.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them, the ones that I showed you in Pebble, they already received a postcard with a check on it. And Mr. Witherspoon, let's see here, properties. See, I've got almost 4,000 properties in here. I want to get it down to about 900. Mr. Witherspoon, I sent him one of those postcards for $19,218.18. He accepted it. This is his property. So here's his property. He's owned it. You see all these $100 ones. This is a type of list that I'll market to. There were death certificates, probate, and quitclaim deeds. But what I can see right here, and my background's appraisal, I'm going to get rid of this overlay.
Are you still in Pebble?
No, this is Escambia County that I'm in.
Oh,
So now I'm just going to go to vacant sales, get rid of this overlay. And I can see this property right here. Here's his. There's the one down the street. This guy paid $32,000 for it 2 years ago. And what he did, he subdivided it into 3 lots and put houses like this on them. So I already know I probably sell it to him, maybe for 35,000. I'm into it for 19. But that's just over the years, the advantage we have. I'm better at the information than the sellers. I'm better at the information than the buyers. And that's 99% of our advantage.
okay.
So that's a lot to digest. And I know you've taken other courses, and I tell people, I understand. I'm not saying that my way is the best way. It's just what I've learned over 35 years, and I just share what I do.
Yeah, obviously it works for you. And it's just these young kids out there, they're also, you know what I mean? It's just like it's too much.
Yeah. And then I
want something that I can do and be confident and not be always, I'll get stuck, total stuck, because I have ADHD and I'll be like paralyzed. I
Yeah.
just can't face it. I don't think I can learn it, or I haven't learned it. It's like I'm trying to figure it out. So I just want to get myself my own system, a system that works for me, that's not too complicated. I think where I shine is talking to people. I think everybody I've dealt with.
And that's I think that's one reason we do well is I get along with the sellers. I get along with the buyers. That rapport is important.
Yeah. And then also, I don't want to pay a bunch of people to do everything for me either. I want to find a system that I can do, maybe have an assistant or a small, very small crew eventually. Now
I had 2 full-time VAs in the Philippines. We've gone our separate ways, and great for them, great for us. I've got one, she's in South Africa, and she helps mostly with Facebook stuff and YouTube stuff. I can't do all that stuff.
Does your wife work in the business as well?
Yeah, it's just her and I. She's probably right on the other side of that door. It's her and I. We work out of the house. Yeah, I keep my overhead low too. I have some of the tools. I've got Pebble, I've got PropStream, Rocket Print, similar ones, but my last mailing was pretty small. I usually only go through Rocket Print. It's got to be at least 500.
Okay. How many hours are you working at, do you say? Oh.
It varies. My mom's 95, lives in California, doing great. I've got 4 daughters, and I can turn the land business off. I could turn it off for 2 or 3 weeks and just shut it down. But the course I can't, because I need to be accountable. So I put in, I'm trying to be diplomatic. The land pays better. The course I really enjoy. I put in so much time into that, just helping people. So tomorrow I'll have 3 Zoom sessions, one at 11, and that one is the one that we do twice a month. And there's, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 people in that one. And then I do my Wednesday ones. Typically Wednesdays, I've got one at 12:30 and one at 5 p.m. And the 5 p.m. is not always, but about twice a month, I'll have a speaker come in.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because I don't have to sit there and talk the whole time. And sometimes, like tomorrow, for the twice a week one, during the day, we call it Deal Lab. And so they just bring their deals. We'll go ahead and let's see here. We probably did it here. So we'll do a post typically on Sundays here. And I don't know, can you see my screen still?
No, just you.
I'm better at numbers than I am working the computer. But so this is the group. And so we just go ahead and post in the group and we'll do a session at 12:30. That's bring their deals. And the last 4 Wednesdays we had Rick on. So tomorrow night we'll just, if they have don't have any questions, I'll come up with a topic, a teaching moment. Prior Deal Lab, a lot of it is who's using AI for due diligence, please share. And just finding out what people are doing. One of the teammates had a deal they wanted to sell, so they can do that here or in here. They send me the post and then I approve them. So here's someone looking for buyers. I just approved this an hour ago. here's Jay. He's one of our teammates here, and he did a session on disposition, and he did another session on ChatGPT. So people can put their post. This is the public group. So people can put their post in here. And a lot of times they'll send me posts about houses and they're not appropriate, so I just don't approve them.
Okay.
And that is, at some point, I'll put this link in the chat. You can access it. You can watch this recording again. If you
Okay.
decide to do it, there's 2 options for you. And
Okay.
then I'm available if you have any questions.
Okay. And did you, I think on your Facebook, probably, I guess it's your personal page, whatever one that I'm following. Do you have those, were those prompts for something that you could get? Like you were saying, like just, I can't remember what the word was, put in something in the comments and then you'll send something.
Oh, the VA that helps me out of South Africa, she does a lot of the Facebook stuff. And so she'll go ahead and do a post and it will say comment, and then she's supposed to follow up with those.
Okay.
So some of these, I'm in this one often. There's one that people follow me. I don't get in there often. She does that. And then I have my personal page that I messaged you on.
Okay.
So that's the overview, doing due diligence on the people, using the 3-offer technique, picking a great market area, building a good list, keep your costs down, and using tools, and then disposition. That's when we get paid. So that's where I took this and just turned it around. Everyone's building a list. Here's 9 people that have bought in the last 2 years where I'm trying to sell. This is my market. This is my market. It's very small.
And you've been in that same market all these years?
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's small. I suggest people pick a county with at least 200,000 people. My county has 325,000 people, and it goes way up here. I just worked this portion here that has about 70,000 people. But there's plenty of vacant lots. Hurricanes have come through and houses have been torn down. People have inherited these properties. And then I just go in there and get all the properties, put them in the funnel, sort by my 14 niche list, take those, I run them through Versium and figure out even additional pain points and focus on those people.
Okay. All right. I think I could get it down eventually.
Anyway, I hope that helped. Just shoot. I'll put the link to those 2 opportunities. You'll have them. You can go ahead and watch that video again if you want. And if you have any questions,
You want to just message it to me?
yeah, I'm just gonna take this.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure this is gonna work, but maybe just click on it.
Are you in the chat?
Yeah, I just messaged it to you.
Oh, I got
Yeah,
it.
it's in your messenger. Oh,
Yeah.
Oops, I don't
Okay.
know what I did.
One quick question. Where does your mom live in California?
The San Francisco Bay Area, Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay. I'm Southern California.
Okay.
Maybe I thought maybe she was close, but
Yeah. And so I'll be out there. I'm going out the day before Mother's Day.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's the one thing nice is what we do allows us to do that type of thing.
Yeah, I love it too because it's really nice when I go up there to Washington because that's where I've been dealing. So I can meet people if I want to, or I can go look at the properties if I want to, and then I can work just like I would here.
Yeah.
I would get out. I do all my Zoom calls and all that stuff, except for this time because with the baby and everything, I was like, I really had to take the break with all this stuff. But I have on my weekly Zooms I get on and stuff like that. But I'll let you go. But I really appreciate the time, and I will for sure be in touch.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you so much.